Hello and welcome back to Robinsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Please do like and comment and subscribe and share this video with people you think might enjoy this video if you enjoy this video. Today we are going to be making, let me set you up a little better here, a paper chain variation that I figured out a couple of years ago, and you will see that we've got two elements going on here, a big dark green ring and little lighter green rings. Now what I've got for paper, and I'm trying to sort of set you up here, I think you could do this all in one color of cardstock, or as many different colors as you've got. So these are 1/2 inch wide by 8.5 inches wide. So I took cardstock that's regular, imperial letter sized, and I cut 1/2 inch strips all the way down the paper. I think if you're working in metric, this is just fine. It's about a centimeter and a half. So just cut, 15 millimeters all the way down the short side of the paper. And I left a few pieces of paper to kind of walk you through this. I've got, I don't know if this is going to show up. Yeah, it does. On the camera, there's a little bit lighter piece of light green and a sort of medium piece of dark green. You don't have to fuss with that. It can all be one color if you like. So I've got a mat here that has 1/2 inch lines. And I've got a metal ruler that has cork on this side so it does tens, not to slip too much. And I'm doing these all in green because I'm making this video right before Christmas. But this paper chain, of course, could work for any holiday or any celebration you want. You could do it in team spirit colors of your high school or your college or whatever. You could do it in Easter colors. You could do it in national holiday, the colors of your flag. You could do it if it was somebody's birthday and whatever their favorite color is. And if all you have is one color of cardstock, like their favorite color is purple and you only have one shade of purple, then that works just fine. You can make, cut, depends on how long you want it and how many pieces of paper you need, but you can cut one piece of paper in the width-wise, the 8.5 direction, and this other long piece to make the big circle is cut in the 11 inch direction. So yeah, so you just cut like this. This is really nice. My board is big enough so that I can see the tick marks on this end and on that end. Yeah, so we get, right, you know how to cut. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. So we have a whole stack of 8.5 inch by 1/2 inch. So there's my 8.5 inches of paper. And here I have one of those 8.5 inch pieces of paper cut in half, so at 4 1/4. And there's a little bit of a color difference there. So all I'm going to do is take a couple of sheets of paper and use this as a guide. And cut. So you just do that for the whole shebang. And I'm trying to figure out if I could do the math too. Boy, I made a video the other day doing math on video, and I don't think that's a safe idea for me. I could just end up anywhere. Math is something for me best done with a whole lot of quiet. So I should never do math on video, but might as well go through this whole stack. There we go. So now I have 4 1/4 inches. So half of the width of the cardstock. And this should be done in cardstock. Let me be enthusiastic about that. Paper would not hold up the strength of this. If all you had is paper, what could you do? You could probably, I guess you could cut two long 11-inch strips to get, and glue them together if this was paper. And then glue it into a circle. And if all you had was paper, you could probably do that, but you might as well try this with cardstock. And I bet, seeing as how I live in the northeast corner of the United States, and we're coming into winter, you could do this all in white, and it would be kind of fun and sort of snow-like. So anyway, we've got 3 little, let's get this out of the way, and let's bring this back. I've got 3 small, these are the 8.5 by 4 1/4 inch. See, me and math videos, just a bad mix. 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch. And so I make 3 little loops, and I actually glued it to the side of this bigger loop that is 11 inches long, like this, and I make a loop. So I've got 3 little loops inside the bigger loop, and I actually glued these together. So let's do a little bit of that. Another thing, so we'll need some white glue, some scissors, knives, cutting mats, however you want to do that. When I did these, I ended up making little pencil tick marks at 1/2 inch because my cutting board here is, I can't see, if I lay this down, I can't see the tick marks anymore. So, yeah, so the setup is the little short sticks, and I've got them in paler shades of green, and long strips, which are 11 inches long. So what we're going to do, here's the sort of the prototype there. So I take one of the long dark green ones, and I glued this into a circle, and I'm going to glue these 3 to the inside edges of this circle so that they stay put, so they don't move around. And I'm going to do that, I don't know if you can tell, this is where the 2 ends of the little loop came together. So I'm going to put the glue right there. And right here is where the two ends come together. And I'm just going to glue that together. And I love using clothespins as my little holder just while the glue sets up. And this will come. Here's where I want to put the glue. It's right where the two ends of the circle come together. And this is a tiny bit tricky because we're going to use just our eyes to get us here. I want to glue it exactly halfway across the circle. So let's do this. So I want this bulge of the circle to be about the same as this bulge. This looks a little tiny bit wider. But that's already started to set up, so we'll just leave it there. So next, in order to link two circles, there are going to be 3 strips right here. So there are 3 strips in the middle of the big circle, and then there are 3 strips connecting the 2 big circles. So this went light, dark, or light, medium, light. Yeah, you really don't have to do it with 3 colors. I did 2 colors in the little and 1 color in the big, and you don't have to do that. And so this is going through one of the little circles in the middle. Here, I'll tell you what, let's use a little paper clip right here so it's not so ginormous. So this is what we've got. This is our pattern. We have over here, there will be 3 little circles. Then there are 3 little circles glued to one of the big circles. Then there are 3 little circles in between the 2 big circles. Then I've got 3 circles inside a big circle. And you just keep up that pattern. If you've got little kids with you, or you're having a super chaotic day, and you don't feel like organizing all these colors and sizes and shapes and all that, just experiment with making a chain out of, much smaller pieces of cardstock, and you'd get this really sweet little chain like the one in the middle, which I just think is really cute, and there's nowhere near as much figuring out stuff. It's just really pretty, and you could do 2 or 5 or 12 different colors of whatever holiday or whatever holiday or celebratory colors are appropriate. Or you can do it all in one color and just make a sweet little chain of little tiny circles. You could also, like I was talking before, let's let that sit for a sec. just to be different, you could make a single chain and you could glue two pieces of cardstock together that are 11 inches long and make a chain just with the big circles. You don't have to mix and match. But if regular paper chains are getting just a little boring for you and you want to juice it up a little, try this pattern of 3 little ones connected to an 11-inch circle, and then 3 in the middle, and then 3 little ones connected to a big 11-inch circle. And because we're making these, let me see if I can set this aside, these big circles, let's see, you can actually, to make this just brain-wise a little tiny bit easier, is you can set up all of your big circles and make a whole bunch of big circles all at once. So this is the beginning. Sometimes I think it's really nice to make paper chains in this way of kind of setting it up to be mindless work. Because then my brain gets to think about other quiet things and I don't have to keep doing the math. And sometimes it's really fun to set up a complicated paper chain. And kind of not think about anything, just think about the complexities of the paper chain. It's always fun watching how my brain works. Sometimes it's really hard to explain what I'm doing because figuring this stuff out is very right brained work. It's all that spatial stuff that our right brains love to do. But what it's not is left brain language centered. So it's really easy for me to think this stuff up and kind of hang out in my right brain and figure out where all the pieces need to go. But then when I have to tell you about it, I have to put language all over it and I get confused, which is why I should not do math on a video at the same time, because math is very left brain. Very left brain, and the making is very right brain. So then my brain wants to sort of spit. But it's actually really good exercise for our brains to do both at the same time, because then it means our brains have to wake up and pay attention to themselves and shoot lots of information from one side to the other so that I'm talking about what I'm actually showing you. All right, so here are a bunch of big circles. And now I'm going to make little patterns of 3 circles so that I can glue them to the insides. So this has the medium color of green and the light color of green in the middle. So medium, light, medium. we'll do that for a minute. I hope you all are configuring your weather pretty easily. I know there are sections of the United States and certainly the world that are being challenged with the weather. There's, I don't know, too much water precipitation, or there's not enough, or all of the precipitation is 3 feet of snow. So I hope whatever it is, you are having a lovely time at home, in your house, or wherever, but safe and sound inside, and getting to just make art for a little while. Aren't these clothespins great? What did I say? Medium, light, medium. So these are all mediums. Anyway, I hope you're safe and sound. In my world, we just had American Thanksgiving. And that was lovely. I had an enchanting visit. So I'm not measuring how much glue, I'm just, putting a little smidge on there. One thing I thought of this fall as I've been making a few paper chains again, I was going to send a paper chain to a family who has dogs. And I thought, I know you hang paper chains high up on the ceiling or across the top of a door or something. But this family's dogs are they can be a little rambunctious. And I was using, and it's buried over there, but one of those, a little stapler. It's a Tim Holtz stapler, but any stapler. And I thought, what if the dogs thought this was a fun play toy and tore it down off the wall or somehow got a hold of it and ended up eating parts of the paper? Now, the paper would go through their tummies just fine and they'd figure out how to digest it. I'm sure all this dye isn't any good for them, but they'd be fine. But the staples would be terrible, which is why I'm taking all this time gluing on this one, because this is Elmer's glue in here and it's non-toxic and it wouldn't be great for the dogs or babies, but it also won't kill them the way a metal staple could. So if you are making a lovely little item for a home where there are dogs or children, I don't think this pertains to, or goats, cats. I don't think cats kind of eat stuff like this. They need it to be really interesting before they're going to spend time eating it. That's my experience of cats, which is not vast. So if there's any animal or child who might, for whatever reason, ingest So I've got 2 medium circles with a light colored green circles. If you're doing it that way, if you're not, never mind. But yeah, I would suggest putting all of this together with glue, not with staples. Staples are so much faster, but they also look a little industrial, which could be a look that's kind of fun, or it could be completely contrary to the look you're going for. So if it's all adults, you could play with, silver colored papers or gold colored papers. Do I have it? Yes, I do. This is a little piece of some silver cardstock that I got at Michael's by the Recollection Company. So that with silver staples would look really cool. So you could go for sort of an industrial look, which might be a lot of fun. But otherwise, the tried and true materials of paper and glue are highly recommended. All right, so I've got 3 little sets of the little pieces of paper. You know, we could be doing this on a white background. We've got 4 little sets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got lots of the big circles. And I just noticed that we are about done with how much time my camera gives me. So why don't I just set these up? So I'll just glue on either side there. And glue. And glue. And glue. And then when I've got these all glued in and I'm ready to attach here to here, just add. See if we can do this in the middle. Take that off. You add 3 more little circles in the middle. I wish you your full brain, your playful heart, and a very beautiful holiday season, whatever holiday or celebration you are participating in. Have fun with colors, and I'll see you next time. Bye.